Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm the gentleman. Happy New Year. This is our first video for 2022. If you enjoy the content we make, please consider a like, share, subscribe, and you can follow me on Twitter. Anything you can do to help the channel grow is really appreciated. For the first video of 2022, we are going to be playing a game on the ZX Spectrum called MiSTer. And this is a really retro game for a retro nostalgic TV show, which is a good reason why I'm wearing this t-shirt. So, old school gamer for an old school TV show. And MiSTer was one of those classic shows. Visually, it has not stood the test of time if you look at the old episodes. But for the content, for the fun, for the sheer brilliance of what that TV show was, it is worth viewing. Take a look if you can find some old episodes. But before we play this, I need to introduce you to two of the main characters. So I'm just going to move away from the screen a little bit here and using the wonders of computer editing. This is Arthur and this is Terry. So Arthur is the gentleman who you can see on the left hand side of the screen. He's played by George Cole. He is the con man. He is Arthur Daly. And then we've got Terry, played by Dennis Waterman, who is his minder. And the minder's purpose was obviously to do bits and pieces, but to get Arthur out of scrapes. And this is what this game is all about. If you don't know and you're not familiar with the TV series, the gentleman that played MiSTer, Terry, that you saw on the right hand side of the screen, he actually sung the theme tune, and every single episode of MiSTer there was his dulcet vocals in the background. I own this game. This is my copy of the game. It took me a while to get this. It came with a decent set of instructions and a tape that had been looked after. So very happy to get that. You will see me unbox this in the future if you're watching these videos in order at the end of January. I've started unboxing stuff already in late December after I did my unboxing 2 video, and essentially I'm keeping all the little clips, putting them together and doing one single video for the end of every month so you can see how the collection grows. It may not be of interest to all of you that I do this, and it's not, haha, look at me, look what I've got. It's no, let me show you this. I'm trying to tickle those member berries. I'm trying to remind you of great things from the past, or what I consider to be great things from the past. And this is partly my way of doing this to take you through this. This is going to be a reasonably long video that we're going to be doing, so we're going to get into this right now. And it kicks off with you driving effectively Arthur Daly's car. And the purpose of this is to make as much money as you can over several days. And you've got 2 weeks to be doing this. So you start off at home and you've got a few options. You can go, which goes somewhere. You can wait, that increases the clock by an hour. You can do your inventory, or you can quit the game. So we've just done our inventory, and we start off with cartons of cigarettes, wetsuits and Blue Peter presenters. This is one of the only games where you actually take notes and write things down to remember the prices and how much they've got. And you also have $2 grand in the bank to start off with. And this is your foundation stone. This is what you need to build on, and you've effectively got to make as much money as you can in your day. A lockup, for those of you that don't know, think of a shed, a garage where you keep stock that you want to sell. And this is the purpose of this. So we now need to go somewhere to do something with this stock. So we've hit G to go, and we're going to press D to go to a dealer. And it's not a drug dealer, but these are antiques dealers. These are people that deal in second-hand items. And you're going to have a choice of 8 of them to go to, but they're open at different times of the day. So you can always guarantee that Warren is going to be there very early in the morning. They're all there at their set particular time. So if we hit number 1, we will go to his shop, which we're on our way to right now. So you have this little ditty that plays every time you go somewhere. You get in your car and you drive. And this is what I love about this game. The little windows with the little talking heads that you have. So we hit number 5 because he's got a 5 in the bottom left of the window. If you don't hit the number quick enough, they can move and it advances an hour. So here we go, it advanced an hour again. I missed the 5 and I hit 1 then, and it did work. And we are going to try and sell this dealer some of the items that we have in our lockup. And basically you ask them if they're basically interested in an item. So we're just typing this out at the moment. So Blue Peter is Blue Peter presenters. For those of you that don't know what Blue Peter was, think of a 80s, 90s, even in the 2000s kids show where they made rubbish. You might have heard the phrase of "here's something I prepared earlier." This came from Blue Peter, and this is effectively a box of all the Blue Peter presenters. They're not worth very much money, so we're struggling to get these sold, but I want them out the lockup because there is a hidden danger with stuff that you can have in the lockup. So we need to be a little bit prepared for this. This game is all about buying, it is all about selling, and the depth of this game is actually quite deep in terms of what you can do, some of the challenges that you have here. It's fun, it's undersold, and one of my regrets here is this is a game that you don't often hear much about, but it's a fine game, it's an interesting game, and it always is a challenge to beat your high score. So we've basically sold the Blue Peter presenters to that dealer, and we need to go somewhere else because we've still got other stuff to sell. Remember the list here? That was stuff that I took from the inventory. So we're at another dealer called Take All. We're hitting W to wait, which advances the clock per hour, and then we hit 4 to talk to him, and another dialogue appears. So again, you repeat essentially a lot of the commands that you've got. The commands are interested in, ask, offer, that kind of thing. So the vocabulary isn't that great, but what this is in some respects is it's a spreadsheet behind a graphical user interface here, and we're trying to sell wetsuits at the moment, so we're in the bargaining phase here. So how much are you asking is how much do we want to sell them for. Obviously we want to make a profit, so it's good to put in a high price. The wetsuits didn't cost us £67 each, but he then comes in at a reasonably lower price, so we know that somewhere we can sell them between 50 to 67 if we're lucky, and he's happy with 55 quid a piece. I think he's probably going to take them all because we had 10. So great, we have now sold the Blue Peter presenters and we have sold the wetsuits, and they give you a time to deliver. So he wants delivery within 3 days, and if you don't deliver those, they're not going to be happy bunnies. So we hit go again to go somewhere else, and the little animation of the car appears, and we arrive very shortly at our lockup. So this is our lockup, this is our garage, and this is Terry. This is the guy that sung the theme tune to Minder, and he is your Minder, and you give him jobs to do. If you say hello back, he's really not interested, so he just wants tasks. So we need him to deliver the wetsuits, and the reason I'm delivering the wetsuits before the Blue Peter presenters is they're worth more money. So the more money I have in the bank, the more money that I can actually buy alternate stuff to sell, to progress, to get a bigger profit. You could tell the era of this game. There's a page 3 calendar in the background, and this is our lockup, and this is the inventory, and every time you're in the lockup you can see what you've got to do. So we have to deliver Blue Peter presenters that you've just seen, and this is different from the I button that you get when you're at home where you can have a look at your inventory. It does not show you what you need to do. All it shows you is what stock you've got. So this is Mr. Bot. We are going to try and sell him something else, and if we can sell the last remaining item that we have here, we're going to be in a good place. So we'll have a nice chunk of money. If we can get these cigarettes sold to him, we can then go off to buy other stuff. You always start with £2,000 in the bank. It has to give you a bit of a base, and your end game score is everything above that you make. I played this many times years ago, and I think the most that I've ever managed to get in the space of a 2-week period is probably about £14,000. We're going to be playing a few days of this as we go through these videos. I take you through this great game, this funny game in some respects. In some of the language they use here is really meant to be sort of 80s Cockney, that kind of thing. You wouldn't talk like this today, but it is how people spoke, in this area of London, and certainly on the TV show, and they captured it really well. So we're going to play a few days of this so you get to see it through. And I do hope that, because there's no spoilers in here, this is a strategy game where the key is to make as much money as possible. I'll show you some of the hidden dangers that we have in this game as we go on this journey, and we're on the journey now to the Winchester. And this is not the Winchester as in Shaun of the Dead. No. This is the Winchester Club that is run by a gentleman called Dave. So the Winchester is empty, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. What choices do we have? We're hitting go to go again, and just for fun, we are going to go to Terry's flat to piss him off. Who wants to be disturbed at 2 o'clock in the morning? Certainly not Terry. So I don't know what he's doing entertaining. He's probably singing the theme tune to MiSTer, but hey ho, let's not piss him off too much. And when you're in this situation where it's this silly time in the morning, all you can do is go home to effectively reset the day, to cycle the day to the next day, and then you can start your journey again. We're not going to do this, but if we were to hit I now for inventory, it would not show us what we had to deliver, what we had to collect, but if we were in the lockup, it would show us. So we're back at Terry's. And Terry is now in a better mood, and he's saying that Willie says the wetsuits were fine and he's basically paying us in full. He will take a small cut, and that gives us 495 quid that we have on top of the 2 grand. So that's now profit that we can start to sell. We've actually made a difference now. So we want him to do another job, and we're not going to deliver the Blue Peter presenters. We are going to deliver the cigarettes, which is the next highest value thing we had to sell. Always when you play this game, get rid of your most expensive items, get them delivered, get them shifted, because there is a hidden danger that can happen. So Terry's about to disappear, and we are now going to head off into our lockup to go and see what we've got here. I know what we've got, but we're heading off to the lockup anyway. And in the lockup is this guy on the right hand side, Chisholm. He is a police officer and he looks for stolen stuff. And this was pure luck. So know anything about cartons of cigarettes, 5 cartons of cigarettes, and we have got Terry to move them just at the right time. So Chisholm, the police officer, has a look around. He can't find them and he tells us to watch it. So we are in a position where we could have a dealer that could be very irritated. All we've got to do is deliver Blue Peter presenters now, so we'll get those delivered very, very shortly. But this is a problem that we have, and we now need to avoid that other dealer. So Pete Bott has got delivery of those dealers. The delivery of those cigarettes, they're fine. But when he finds out they're bent, and by bent that's a old term for stolen, it's slang for stolen in the UK. He's going to be not very happy. So we are going to get Terry to deliver the Blue Peter presenters, and we are then going to have to get some more stock. Blue Peter presenters were not worth very much. There is a command that you could use, which is dump, to get rid of stuff. So I could say dump Blue Peter and he would have got rid of them, but we had a chat with another dealer. We're going to get a few quid for them, so we may as well see what we have. We have no inventory, as you've just seen, and we need inventory. So we're going to head off to the Winchester Club, not the Winchester Club, as I say, from Shaun of the Dead, but the Winchester Club that first appeared in MiSTer all these years ago. Number 6, the guy there, his name is Dave on the right hand side. He runs the club, and he will have a chat with you here, and Tell was looking for us. So Tell is short for Terry, and something about presenters. This means that he wants to pay me for them, and there's limited stuff that we can do with Dave. It's just a generic conversation that you have. The dealers that you have from the shops will also be at the Winchester. It's the local for everybody, and these are other people that are not dealers. So a dealer would be the guy who's got number 3 on the window and number 6 on the window. I recognise their pictures from the shop, but this guy is trying to sell us rabbit hutches. So built-in wardrobe made of solid mahogany. So first thing we do is we ask him how much they are, and he is going to no doubt offer us a really stupid price. These people are as hooky as what we are, in terms of they don't want to give you a deal. So we tell him it's too much, and he then asks for a figure, and then we will go low. We will start really low with these. And he thinks 30 quid, so you think, okay, maybe we can go somewhere midway with these. And he takes 22, but look at his high price compared to what they were, and compared to what we paid. We got a good deal here. So we are going to try and buy 100, and when you buy 100, that will actually tell you, usually as long as they don't have that much stock of it, how many they've got. Sometimes I give you the number, sometimes I don't. So he hasn't, so we say how many here, and we are going to take all of those for that price. I hope that we can turn a little profit in on this, and this is what this game is all about. I want you to think of a buying selling simulation type game. Think of it, mad as it sound, of stocks behind the fancy graphics that you've got, and these graphics were fancy for the ZX Spectrum. Look at the animation on all the little faces, all the little heads that you have here. And what I loved it was, I always used to think these were like photo fits that you had that were animated, that spoke, and if you don't want to deal with anybody, just say no if they talk to you, and you can just get rid of them here. But this is a dealer that's asking us, what's the deal, what do we want? So I'm just going to type Hutches in here, and he's not going to understand what we mean. So you always have to have the key phrases before here, like interested in whatever, and sometimes they are interested, other times they will walk away, other times you may use too many words. So I've put rabbit hutches in there, and I think he was a little bit confused about that, so I should have just used the word hutches. So it's all about keywords, so stick to the bare minimum keywords of what you're doing for the interaction, and this game will go fine. I might have got a sale if I hadn't have put rabbit hutches and I just put hutches. This is my brain thinking of the big picture, where actually I need to be a little bit more narrowed down on the language that you use. Instructions for this game are online as well, and the instructions give you a whole list of all the vocabulary that you can use. I printed one out just out of interest, but I didn't need it. It all came back to me, and the only mistakes that I had really was in some of the words that I was using, in terms of I used too many words here. I used to remember playing this in the past. I think I had a problem with whiskey as well, where I always would put bottles of whiskey, and it wasn't bottles of whiskey, it was crates of whiskey here. So back at the Winchester, and here is a dealer. So he's not happy about wetsuits being hooky, and the bill turned him over, and tells us basically to piss off, to go away. So that dealer isn't going to be our friend for a little while. He wants to know if we're getting fresh. No, we won't. It's the end of the night, and it really is time for Arthur to go back home where he is at the moment. But we still have stuff to sell, so we need to go and visit some more dealers. This is a longer video than normal. I apologise for it in some respects, but I just want to take you through the journey of what this great game is. I completely get this isn't for everybody, but for me, this is a classic game, a game that I truly loved, and there's going to be, many things as we go down the years, as we continue doing this channel, because this channel is going absolutely nowhere. And as much as my health conditions are now resolved, and I did this for health conditions, I needed a hobby, something to distract me while I was getting myself fixed, so to speak. I fell in love with what I was doing, and you can see this by, if you look at the original videos that came out to where the videos where they are now, and they will continue to be enhanced better as we go down this journey throughout the months and hopefully years as we go forward. But if this one isn't for you, as I say, I'm sorry for this, but some games, if I just showed 5 minutes of this game, I don't think you would get the atmosphere, the way that it recreates and relates to the TV series. If you enjoy the Minder TV series, I think you're actually going to find that this game really does click with you. So we're back up our lockup at the moment. So Terry has collected the hutches from Lefty Dingle, and they're in the lockup, and now we want to do something else with him. We want him to deliver the hutches now. So type in the usual command, deliver hutches, not putting the word rabbit in to screw up the language where I make a mistake, and he goes off to do this. We're now heading back out to another dealer, and we're going to find a dealer that we can hopefully sell some more bits and pieces to. But you notice once in a while in the dealer's shop you have other characters appear. So yes, you get the police appear sometimes, but you've got that guy in box number 4. Not sure who he is. Maybe we could buy things off him. I don't think I've even tried doing this, but at the moment we don't care about this. We're just dealing with Mr. Car to try and sell him the remaining hutches that we've got and turn a really good profit. And notice this, he doesn't want to be ripped off like the other dealer. So you have the various dealers in the game, all 8 dealers, but over the years that I've played this and the time that I've played this, I believe that the dealers have different boundaries and different things that maybe they specialise in. There must be a key baseline price in this game where some things are, you know, this is what it's really worth, and you know the dealers have a boundary of how high, how low they will go, and say maybe this guy for hutches, he knows a little bit better than the other guy, so he's not going to be ripped off as much. And it could be TVs, it could be Blue Peter presenters, it could be crates of whiskey, or God knows what else you can buy here. You know, the choices are endless. So we're waiting in the lockup for Terry, so we want the money from the hutches he's already dropped off, and we also need him to deliver the remaining hutches. So usual conversation piece goes in here. He'll ask if we want anything else. We are going to say yes, and then you can guess the next command, which is likely to be deliver hutches. But look at that bank balance. You know, we are doing really well at the moment. You know, I do speed up this game a little bit as we go through, and this is not fast forward the video. I do a couple of actions that I know is gonna lose us days in here, because I want to take you to the end of it, but you guys, you know, I guess you don't have time to sit here for, you know, an hour and 20 minutes for the full decent playthrough section. So there's a couple of things that you can do that you'll see shortly, and it's worth doing just to show you of some of the dangers that you have here. It's where you've got to be a little bit careful. So we're back at the Winchester, and we tried to talk to what we thought was the dealer by hitting the button, and he came up, said he doesn't talk to Riff Raff here at the moment. So we try and talk to him again because I hit the wrong key and end up timing the night out. So all we can do again is go home. But we have no stock, we have nothing to sell. We have to go to the Winchester, really. We can collect the rest of the money that we've got here, but as far as I recall, all our stock is now gone. But it's not quite the end of the game. You know, we're on day 4 of 14 days, and I say I do speed this up a little bit. There's a couple of things that I do, but you know, there's a couple more transactions worth having, a couple more interactions that we have to play through just to give you the complete experience of it. So back at the Winchester, look at all these people here, and you get approached by people like these dealers. So I'm happy to say yes, I'm Arthur Daly. And what do we think Sydney Tarr wants to sell us? But look at these descriptions. This shows a different world of where we come from. We are where we used to be. A 20-inch teletext made by Sony. You know, do some of you that's watching this even know what teletext is? If you didn't, on BBC, I think BBC One had teletext, ITV had CFAX, can't remember what it was, but these were text-based channels that you had where you could look up the latest news. These are pre-internet days, and you could look up the lottery numbers, you could look up all kinds of things on the screen on teletext, and it worked by typing in numbers like, say, 603, and it would bring up the latest news. 604, it would give you a review on, you know, micro pigs, you know, and it would just be all kinds of stuff they put there, but it was done in a blocky graphics. So those of you that know the spectrum inside out, think of teletext, which is lots of blocky graphics. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in, and in the pictures that I'm putting up in just a moment's time are nothing to do with this game, but here we are. This is a couple of teletext pictures of what it actually looked like in real life that you can see on the screen now. Completely irrelevant to the game, apart from, you know, this guy has just sold us 35 colour TVs at 25 quid each, which were 20 inches in size and had teletext. But those teletext pictures, which have just disappeared, is what teletext used to be. News on demand, information on demand, which came through the remote control of your TV. So we have now got some items that we can sell. So this is another guy wanting to sell us something, and sometimes, and sorry about the bell there, sometimes people want to sell you the most strange things. Tins of gludge, animal byproducts. So, you know, I think that I want these. I mean, look at this wonderful texture, eyes included, made mainly from cows. There are some very strange items in this game, but remember, this came from a different world. So at the moment I've asked for how many, because I had a gut feeling that he would have being tins, he would have a lot of them, and I think I can turn a high profit here. And this is where the game, we're not quite repeating what happened in the past, because things change, and this is where the hidden dangers come into the game right now. So he doesn't want to sell them for £2, so we're going to slowly work our way up the ladder of prices to get to one that he's eventually going to be happy at. He tells us that he's not happy about £5. I think I offer £6 here, and he tells me that he was £2 short. So we'll see where we are. Yep, so we're £2 short, and we eventually get to a decent price for him for £7. So we're going to buy 150 tins of animal byproducts at £7 each. You know, we've got £4.5 grand in the bank. We're happy to spend, you know, over £1 on this, because the way that we've been playing at the moment, we should be able to turn a really, really nice profit. So he's going to hold them for 4 days, which means that we have to ask Terry to collect them by day 8, no later than that. So another chap appears asking if we're after. Not interested, so I just say no at the moment because I want to move on and do something. And I want you to remember this. He asked if I was after daily there. This is really, really key. I've just picked up on this actually while we're doing the video. When he said, am I after daily? And I said no. Let's just pause there for a moment, but hold that thought to right near the end of the video. So this is a dealer that we're talking to, and we're in the Winchester here, and he is going to be interested in TVs. So, you know, we're in a position where we've brought some in the pub, and we're going to hopefully turn them around within the same pub. And look at this, you know, we're already in profit. Even if he takes them for 40 quid, you know, that's not bad. But we're going to keep push up in the price to see how much this guy will go to for the TVs. I mean, 60 quid now, you know, that's 20 quid more than what he had. I think he was on 40 quid at one point. So I'm trying to type here in the taskbar at the moment, and we're going to push for 70, and he takes it. So 70 quid. And, you know, while you're drinking a few pints in the pub in the Winchester, you know, that's great. He doesn't take them all. He only takes 20. But you know what? This is a good turnaround. This is a good profit. We have to hope that these TVs are not hooky TVs, but you know, if that goes, I'm going to get 1,400 quid there. I've still got to collect the bloody things, so you know, I need Terry, who's in box number 1, to be doing some work for the moment. But every time an hour passes, people move boxes, so I had to hit key number 3 there. So you've got to keep a close eye on where the little heads are for this. So collect TVs, so we give him the cash, and then he wants 100 quid for this. And you know, it's okay when he wants 100 quid here and there. That's absolutely fine for this. I mean, yeah, he's probably paying for singing lessons so he can do the Minder tune here, but he gets onto it right away. So we are now going to go to the lockup. And if you look here, we've got to collect tins, we've got to deliver TVs, and we've got stock of TVs because Terry had delivered them collected them by the time that we got there. So, you know, that's all fine and dandy and good in terms of what we have going on, what we need to do now. So we've gone back to the Winchester and do a little bit of waiting to see what goes on here. It's the end of the day now, so we've gone back home and we can start afresh on the next day. So go back to Terry, and he's got the tellies. Yeah, we know this already because we've been to the lockup, but he's telling us because it's the end of that transaction and he wants probably to earn another 100 quid or another drink. So now we get him to deliver the TVs. So he gets a drink for doing it, plus he also takes his cut. So yeah, this man is, you know, going to be pretty loaded by the time this journey is over. So now we're heading off to a dealer, and this is where the hidden danger comes in. You have trouble talking to some dealer, but look at this. Chisholm's asking about tins of animal byproducts that he believes are nicked, and this is a problem because we were going to buy tins of animal byproducts, but we have dodged a bullet there. I would rather not collect those byproducts and upset a dealer, or sorry, upset the seller in the pub, than have something on my hands that I don't want. And you try and talk to other people in the pub, and look, Chisholm's again in that pub. He's really, really interested in tins of animal byproducts, feeling that they're nicked by the dealer that we were speaking to there. And there's very little we can do with him hanging around like a bad smell. You know, he really is a pain in the neck. And as the game progresses, at least in my experience, he always seems to appear later on in the game in the worst place possible, making it harder to shift things, harder to move money. So I'm back home, day 6. We're going to start again, and we're going to go off to another dealer. And there he is. Look, right at the beginning of the morning, he's in with another dealer. So I cannot sell the last few TVs that I've got, because I've still got a stock of TVs that I need to be getting rid of. So we're heading off to another dealer. We're going to wait around, and there he is. A bad smell. It's like he's following us, and I'm sure you know something about those tins of animal byproducts. In the TV series, Chisholm was a real pain in the arse for Arthur as well. He was a fairly inept police officer, but he was a pain in the neck. So now with Chisholm gone, we can deal with Mr. Carr, and he says he's broke, but we are going to make an attempt to sell him some TVs. So usual thing, interested in TVs. For those of you that are still watching, thank you very much. All I ask is, if you don't know what MiSTer is, go and take a look at this TV series. Find one of the early episodes. It truly is Britain in a different age, a very old age, but it's good fun and it's worth watching. And it's before the political correctness waves that we currently live in at the moment. MiSTer wouldn't be on TV at the moment because sometimes they show tits before 9 o'clock in the evening, which doesn't happen anymore. So it's from a different world, it's from a different era. But if you're enjoying what you see on the game of this dodgy geezer type simulation here, then go and take a look. You may find a TV series that you unexpectedly fall in love with. So Chisholm is back at our lockout, and he's interested in animal byproducts. If this game came out now, you probably wouldn't have the page 3 calendar that you've got on the back wall there at the moment. It'd be a picture of a car or something else. But as I say, this game is from a different era, and you can actually see Arthur's car in the background there. So now we can talk to Terry. So Willie Takehall says those tellies are fine. He paid in full. So again, another small cut. So he's had a drink to do it and given us 1,200 quid. We are into a nice profit. And if this wasn't being played for a demo walkthrough that I promise you is very nearly over because of actions that I take in a minute, we would have been well on our way to perhaps making 10-12 grand. It would have been good if we could have done this. We're going to end the last lot of TVs at the moment, but I might have even beaten my high score, which I think was 12 to 14,000. I can't really remember. It was a long time ago. But this has been a good playthrough, a good demonstration of the hidden dangers with Chisholm appearing everywhere. The challenges you get. So we're popping back to Terry's, and we're just going to collect the money from him. And this should leave us with lots of cash in the bank and no stock. He takes another cut. So got just under £1,000 for that. But you know what? That will do. This has been a good run, and I hope he's not too drunk because he's got a pint glass still on the table there at the moment. So do we want anything else from him? The answer is clearly going to be no. So we are now heading back to the Winchester for some early morning drinking. So this is a dealer, so we're going to try and upset the dealer here. So I'm going to say a rude word in there and see what he does. Now Chisholm isn't around for the moment, but why he said that I don't know. So another person approaches us, and we're again going to be rude. Apologies about the language, but you can have this happen to you for a variety of reasons in the game. It just hadn't happened because I had to trigger it. We've lost 4 days of trading, which means that we are now on day 12. So all we can do here is basically pop somewhere to the lockup, and then we're going to go home, and we're going to basically end the day. So we're now on day 13, so we're going to go to the lockup again, and then we're going to go back home and take us to day 14 because I want the game to end. So I've taken you through a sort of playthrough on this to let you experience this fantastic game of MiSTer. So we're out of time. 5,869, and this is your score. And a final word from the master. Now look at this. This is Arthur Daly on the screen. You're really very promising. I've got competition here. Well, hang on a minute. You play as Arthur Daly when you're approached, because they come up and you say Arthur and you say yes to it. So you're actually playing as Arthur Daly in this game, but he tells you he's got competition, and it's sort of breaking the fourth wall a little bit, for want of a better thing, if you can imagine that in a game. But it's the first time I've seen this, and I just twigged on that and wanted to make a little comment on this. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm the Gentleman. This is the Gentleman's Pixel Club. This is my new t-shirt, and you're probably going to see lots of t-shirts from me going forward. The game that I reviewed yesterday, I actually went on their site and bought one of their t-shirts as well. So, I think videos are going to come with new t-shirts combined, retro, old, gaming type t-shirts. And not only am I going to be collecting tapes like this, we're probably going to be going on a t-shirt journey anyway. So, you stay safe, you stay well. A very happy new year to you, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Would you like to play again?
Hello there, just me. If you're a subscriber to this channel, thank you very much. If you're not a subscriber, then Merlin here would be delighted if you would consider subscribing. It would make him happy, it would make me happy. And if Merlin's happy, then everybody is happy. Thank you very much. Stay safe, take care, goodbye.